All right, everyone, welcome back to another market recap and trade recap video. Today's December the 2nd, 2021, and I thought I'd go over some of the trades that I've taken today and kind of talk about the overall volatility and how we can trade things when there is increased volatility, but also what else to look for during your trades and the trading day. So let's start off here with the overnight chart here. So this is my daily routine is like before the market opens, I always look at what happens overnight just to prepare for the trading day and to understand what the narrative and story of the past a few days, and also just to understand the market regime that we are currently in. So unless you're hiding underneath a rock, last few days have been fairly volatile in the market in general, but with the E-mini S&P 500 index and the futures, volatility has increased. VIX hitting probably in the 27, 28 ranges. So ranges have been expanding in terms of the day. December 1st here, the market like tanked. I mean, this is like 100 and something point day. I think 115 point RTH real-time retail trading, regular trading hours range here. So of course volatility is expanding, and of course when there is volatility, yes, it presents more opportunity for you to take advantage of the moves, continuation of moves, and if you can be on the right side of the trending narrative of the day, you can really expand your trade returns, and also increase the profit factor or the R factor of your trades, which is important because over the long run you want the higher the R factor of your trades per trade, the better, obviously. So it helps pay for losing trades down the road as well. So yesterday, December 1st, was quite a large range day. Overnight, it generally, 50-point overnight range is still pretty good. And it pretty much grinded up, recovered here, probably in the 40, the 50 area here. So looking at prior support here as turning into resistance. So it's kind of like just bumping up there. Couldn't quite get up there, and it kind of retraced back down to the near the overnight lows here. So going into today, I wanted to see how the market opened. If it was weak and we couldn't even retrace any of the overnight or any of the prior day, and we saw weakness and a push down, pretty much that tells you like we're going short. Otherwise, I want to see what happens kind of in this bulk of the overnight trading, and also like where we are in terms of like a story. Like if we can't push further down and we start grinding up, then I probably have a long bias and hopefully kind of ride things back up into prior support here, and maybe prior highs here from previous day. I mean, that's a very large range to retrace, but you never know with this volatility. So that's the general narrative. Let's switch over to my real-time regular trading hours chart here. So let's scroll back here a bit. So basically, we open right here, starts wiggling around. Like right away, you can see the volatility kick in. The book was very thin, so price action was quite whippy. I tend not to trade those that type of price action. I don't like the risk reward. They're not testing any areas, and of course it's the open, so high volume comes in and it starts whipping things around. So you can see it kind of pushes a little bit down, kind of traces up, tries to 10, and it builds this little range here, and it kind of starts pushing down again. And I was really watching that to understand, like, hey, can it hold here? If it can't hold here and it starts pushing, grinding down, impulsing down, and it makes it to prior day's low, and it pushes further. That's where I said earlier that I would be looking for the short side, but it didn't. It tried to push lower, but it couldn't, and then you see this huge retrace or huge bounce here up. This whole PNF candle here was, I don't know, I can't remember, maybe like a minute. So it goes up like 20 something points here, bounce here, rips through the swing high here. And I was looking for a retrace back to this area here to kind of see if I can get long, because clearly buyers are back in control. It couldn't push any lower. So my bias was wrong. Pushes up, doesn't pull back far enough, grinds, pushes up, grinds, pushes up, grinds all the way up. And I'm like, man, this is one of those days where, you're waiting for your pullback. It never pulls back. And in the past, what I think a lot of rookie traders or kind of beginner traders feel, of course, you're going to feel FOMO in this kind of scenario where like you're waiting for a pullback to get long. Where would be a smart place to get in with good risk reward, and also kind of try and ride the trend up. But a lot of the beginner traders, and I still feel this, even till today, is like if you feel FOMO and you're just like, screw it, I'm just gonna hop on and then hopefully ride up the wave. Like, that's understandable that you have those emotions, but really in the long run, I mean, if you did that here and you had like maybe, I don't know, 4-point stop, 3-point, probably like a 4.5 point stop, you'd probably be okay. But if you're catching things like up top here on this candle, up top here on this candle, it'll like, rip back down or grind back down, pull back, and then now you're like stopped out, and then it's frustrating because then it pushes further back and you're not out of the trade already. You bought the top, you sold the bottom, and then you missed that ride, right? So I can understand like the FOMO kicks in and you're not able to hop on a trend. You're like, well, when am I actually going to see a good risk reward, right? And you have to control yourself with that. Like basically, like that just can lead to going into tilt. Like you get stopped out. Okay, let's try again. Get back in right away, and then okay, maybe it keeps going up, but if not, it pushes back down further. And you have to understand the volatility is increased, and this price action is fast. Like, I mean, today is fast. I mean, relative to how the ES normally moves, I would say. But you're not able to catch exact prices unless you got like bids out there at certain levels. But even then, like prices kind of extend past support and resistance lines, or prior tops, prior bottoms, and you get whipped around and stopped out, and you're not on the trade, and you get 2 or 3 of those with full stops, like you're done for the day, right? Like if you can control yourself. Otherwise, you're going on tilt, and you're just gonna have a blowout day. And I can see how the volatility like attracts traders to take action, but it also attracts traders to take action and completely ignore their setups, or rely on, there's volatility, so therefore, like if I can catch on at the right point, I can ride it out and it'll be all good. But not continuing to think like, hey, well, what if it doesn't? Like you keep trying again, and you go on tilt, and next thing you know, you have a blowout day, right? So I just wanted to say that, because with volatility, there's movement, and yes, you do want to be on those, be able to take advantage of those, but you have to be, to me, like you have to be extra picky, I think, to really make sure that you're following your plan, and making sure that you have a good risk reward when you do take the trade. Because like you don't want to miss the move. You want to get on earlier. Like, who doesn't want to get on like down here, right? And you literally ride like this 20-point candle, and then you're like up here, now you're up like 40-50 points, and you're like, oh, I'm the best, right? But I mean, that can easily go against you. Like, think about all those folks that saw this good candle here and went short, and it literally just like rips around and rips everyone's face off, and it goes the other way. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that if there's volatility and you feel FOMO, that's natural. It's just you need to really force yourself or try to realize and understand and accept that, yeah, because there's volatility, there will be a better opportunity, like a chance to have a better opportunity. So you have to kind of let things develop and find and pick your battles with the right spots with volatile markets. And the other thing I wanted to talk about also is to really try and understand like your the way you manage a trade once you're in it during a volatile market. Like for me today, like it was quite whippy, and I wasn't, that's not the relative, type of price action that I'm able to trade normally, right? So I had to be aggressive in the sense that aggressive with my own entries and making sure I'm doing the right thing, but at the same time also be aggressive with the trade management. And I kind of, normally I have like a first scale about 3-4 points out, and then I kind of try and ride my runners and try and get the most out of a trade that's winning, right? But with all the price action today, like look at this, like this slams down like 5, 6, 7, 8 points and rips back up. And it's like very hard to kind of make sure that you're handling your risk properly. So, and I mean, look at this, like this was a trade I wanted to take around this point here. However, like the overnight high here, but I mean, that would have been a nice trade, but like this happens so fast. Like, like I don't have bids laying out. Like I'm not trying to catch falling knives all the time. And, I don't have a bid laid out here. So like literally, oh yeah, take the overnight high and boom, you're golden, right? No. So I'm trying to wait for the market to kind of like show its hands a little bit more and kind of present a position where I'm good risk to reward, right? So bounce off here. I took 4 trades today, basically, and again, like I said, I managed it quite aggressively. So I got some scale outs here, top, and then it risked back down. And the next trade here, it pulls all the way back to VWAP, and like literally like it trades like very thin here at bottoms, like and I'm not able to cash that. And now I'm not chasing it up. If I had chased this up, look, chase it up. Oh, I didn't catch this. Oh, I got to catch here. Oh, nope, I didn't catch that. I have to catch here. And then it starts grinding, pops a little bit, and then like slams back down past VWAP again here. This is VWAP, right? So I had to manage the trades quite aggressively. So yeah, like exactly. So it comes up here, bounce. You think it's going to, take out the IB high here. It doesn't. Slams back down. Okay, now you're thinking, okay, well, it can't get any higher. It's pushing past VWAP. I'm going to go short. Like my bias turned short. So I did that. I waited for it to pull back a little bit. I could have waited a little higher to VWAP here. But of course, the entries are not always precise. So I get in short. It had some trouble, like looked like you had some trouble in order flow to kind of push further. So I got out on one contract and then kind of like tighten up my stop a bit, rips back up again here, stops me out. So now I'm like, I don't know, that was up like 2 points maybe on the day, or 1.75 points or something like that. And it's frustrating, right? These trades, like you get a scale out, you have to be so tight with your scale out, and then it stops you out, and then you're not able to catch the meat of a trend, right? Like, see, look, I waited for like the tops here to kind of get on, but that's kind of like the top of this whole leg here. And then the same thing with here, like that's the bottom. I'm selling the bottom of this leg here, so to speak, right? So it's been quite difficult. Like, I mean, you can say, oh well, why didn't you sell here? like, if you're waiting for the reactions on points of interest, like VWAP's a point of interest, right? So it reacted off here long. So you're thinking like it's gonna maybe continue the trend here, pull up, VWAP, and continue on, right? So you're not thinking short here. I mean, you could, but I mean, you're still waiting for the market to tell you what's going on, right? So by the time well, for me at least, by the time I figure out exactly what I think the market wants to do or who's in control, like it's kind of the end of the move, at least for these two trades. Then of course, again here, I see a pullback here. I get long again. I get a scale out, and then I tighten up my spot just to manage it aggressively. At this point, I thought, okay, it pulls back to VWAP, bounces up, couldn't go higher, rips back down. I have a short bias, couldn't go any lower, rips back up, and you're like, oh, I'm flipping long now because it had the chance to push lower, but the sellers didn't come in. So now I'm thinking long. So I get long here upon the pullback again, scale out, get stopped out. That's fine, managing aggressively. It rips all the way back down past VWAP. So now what? Now you're thinking short, right? Well, at least I was. So it pulls back a little bit, pushes again, pulls back a little bit, and I get short here, and on two contracts here, and then I managed to kind of like just ride the thing all in, all out. I didn't have a scale out on this one, all in, all out, and it's just about like picking like spots of interest and then managing your trade a lot tighter, at least for me. So that's why I did all in, all out. I didn't even scale anything. Just almost like a scalpy type of style, which is not normally my style, but I think given the price action of the market in the last couple of days, the volatility is welcome, but at the same time, you really have to watch your risk and manage your trades properly. So having said all that, like 4 trades today, 3 of them were kind of like small little tiny winners, and stop outs are like break evens, and a little bit, stop outs like scratching trades, and then you kind of get this little scalpy type of trade. Like this was probably like 2-3 minutes, like it was really fast, right? So I was able to get that. It had trouble getting higher. I saw it kind of stall out here. And then, yeah, it pushed up again, hitting VWAP, pulls back, and then pops again. And it was just a hard read. And yeah, I started seeing this huge like range here that started chopping around like a 20, 30 point range of sideways action. And it kind of just like chopped around and chopped around and chopped around and chopped around. So at this point, I kind of just hands off and decided to do something else and kind of step away and take a break for a bit. And I didn't have any further trades there. So it kind of chopped around here, 20.67 to 87 point range, price range here, 20 point sideways kind of thing for like a little while here after that. And yeah, that's the trade recap for today, December 2nd. So yeah, I've rambled on a lot, but I think the important part of understanding volatility is that yes, obviously you do want to be able to catch trades and take advantage of the volatility. But if you miss it and you feel that have that FOMO, just be aware that because there's volatility, that there will likely be a chance of another opportunity that presents itself a little bit better throughout the trading day. Like you don't need to do all your trading in the first half an hour or an hour, like kind of thing. Like there's another 5 hours or so after the market opens for something to develop. And if you look at the relative volume, like it's completely increasing for the last the whole day, right? Like this is like going back, like it's all increasing the whole day. It kind of like let off a little bit when it started going sideways during the afternoon. But continues higher, starts grinding higher, and you got 184% relative volume of the last 20 days average, right? So with that, I mean, and the last 20-day average relative volume is you know, including the previous few days of higher ranges as well. So a lot of volume came in today, to a lot of participation that came in. So you just have to be aware that volatility brings opportunities, but at the same time, if you miss things, don't be impatient, and kind of understand that you need to understand to let the market kind of present its hands and take advantage of that down the line, because there will likely be another opportunity for you. There's always going to be another opportunity for you. You just have to be around, and your account can't be, you know, thrashed up so badly that, you know, you can't trade anymore, right? So yeah, thanks for watching. I know today's video was a lot of ranting, not ranting, but like a lot of discussion about volatility and all that. But I think it's important that traders understand, and, you know, FOMO is natural, but at the same time, you need to really control it, and just know that, you know, there's always going to be a next trade, whether it's later in the day or tomorrow. You just have to be around still, and your account has to be well protected for you to take advantage of the opportunity down the line. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and leave any questions in the description below. I will try and answer them. All that. I know I haven't been posting too many recap videos. Oh yeah, just a recap of PNL. I think today was paper cuts at the beginning, and then the last trade kind of like helped me out. So I think it was about the 960 mark, 967-ish. I think I ended up with 19 and a quarter points. So yeah, thanks for watching again. Yep, and I'll catch you in the next one.